My name is Christelle Joquet. I am the resident representative of Enable, the Belgian Development Agency. We implement and we do coordinate the Belgian international development policy abroad in 14 partner countries in Africa, among them Uganda. So Uganda has been a priority country for us since 25 years. And for 10 years now, we have worked prioritarily in two key sectors: education and health, with also a strong focus on environment. In education, which is a key priority sector for us, we work on teacher training, enabling the future teachers of the secondary students to become better teachers, and we also support the Skilling Uganda strategic plan. So you will remember that from 2012, actually, the government put together a strategic plan called Skilling Uganda, for two key reasons. One was the increasing youth unemployment rate, which was a concern even back then. And the second one was to try to address the mismatch between the set of skills provided by the training institutions and the needs and demands of the private sector companies. So the plan was put in place in 2012, and from the very beginning, BTC, because back then we were called BTC, Belgian Technical Cooperation, so from the very beginning we supported the process, technically and also financially, through studies, interactions, etc. In 2016, started the project that we still do implement now, which is called Support to the Skilling Uganda Strategy. So this project is quite a comprehensive one. It works at central level to support the policy dialogue with the government, the Ministry of Education and Sport, and we are also active in 3 regions: Albertine Rwenzori, West Nile, plus Kiryandongo, and Karamoja. This comprehensive project is actually thanks to the support not only of the Belgian government, but also of other key donors and partners: the EU, the European Union, Irish government, and Germany, mainly. Our objective through the program, it's actually to try to contribute, because we only contribute, to the setup of a much more comprehensive skills system for the country. So not looking at skills only, but looking at it in a much broader perspective. Skills being part of a necessary strategy to achieve growth, to increase human capital development, to increase productivity. So skills, it's only one of the elements we want to put forward to really fast-track the development of the country. So through this program, we support the government, we support several schools also to become centers of excellence. But one of our key components is actually a skills development funding mechanism. And it is quite interesting to note that PSFU also does have a skills development facility, which is actually very similar to the one we implement. So we have been trying to synergize with PSFU since 2017. Why? Because we believe that in the end, the pilot projects we are piloting PSFU Enable should lead to a national mechanism. So what we hope to achieve is to have a national skills development fund linked to the future TVET Council that should operate in the future. In the lead should be the private sector, and of course the government should be on board: Ministry of Education and Sport, Ministry of Labour and Gender, PSFU, us as development partners. But this is the very interesting element we have been piloting together with PSFU over those past years. Interesting also to note that in the future we will even work more with PSFU, because we have been co-designing, co-creating a project together for the EU, for the European Union, which is mainly a work or job readiness program. In the framework of we want to contribute to better Uganda, greener Uganda, more productive Uganda, And as I mentioned in the beginning, we believe that skills, capacity building, capacity development is an essential component of this one. So together with PSFU in this program, we will work on skills and attitude, and also on improving governance aspects, because this is also important if you want to achieve a proper development. There is a very young population in Uganda, which is a blessing, but at the same time, this is a constraint and this is a risk. Because if you look at the numbers, you can see that each year, many youths enter the job market. Between 400,000 and 600,000, according to the African Development Bank. We expect that by 2030, this will increase to 1 million per year looking for a job. So I think this is actually our biggest challenge, and we all need to try to work together to address this macro challenge. The second one is, if the Skilling Uganda strategy was set to address the mismatch between skills and the needs of the private sector, there are still challenges. It means there is still a mismatch. There is a lot of improvement, but there is still a mismatch, and we still need to work on it in the future. The third challenge would be that the skills required by the private sector are most often linked to soft skills, attitude, cognitive skills, the ability to adjust, to learn, to work differently. And this is what we want to address actually through the new program, to really try to put much more focus on soft skills, not only technical skills. So this is between a challenge that we see now, that we identified, and an opportunity for the future. So now we have the COVID-19 situation, of course, which is affecting the whole world, and also Uganda. So since March, actually, and even before the lockdown, we started adjusting the way we work. Internally, it means for our team, because we are a big team actually in Uganda, we are 137 people working to develop further the country, so we had to adjust the way they work and the way we work, going to more digital options, and we also had to adjust the way we work with our partners and beneficiaries. So in some ways it has affected us because we stopped, by instance, our field missions. So we have many activities going on in the field, but we have to follow them in a different way. So this is the negative side of the crisis. The positive side of the crisis is we actually had to fast-track our digital transformation. And this is a message, I think, which is important for all of you today, joining this seminar. I think this is a unique opportunity to, even in your enterprises, small businesses, bigger businesses, try to take it into account. How could you be more equitative? How can you be more sustainable? How can you be more environment conscious?